Hi, I'm Tony Constantine, an investment advisor representative with LifeMark Securities Corp. As usual, the thoughts and ideas expressed here are mine and do not necessarily reflect those of LifeMark Securities Corp. Anytime a bank fails after having passed their last two stress tests, I think that's a systemic problem, a big one. Now, with regard to the Silicon Valley Bank and what happened with them, and I'm going to cite the Wall Street Journal article on March 15th, written by Mr. James Mason and Mr. Chris James Michener, in which they stated that the regulators who administered the stress test for SVB asked the wrong questions. It seems that in 21 or 22 and 23, they asked the bank to come up with their, do the stress test based on interest rates going up to 2% and then remaining level after that, with the treasuries going down to like 1.75 or something, and they passed the tests. Well, at the same time that they were telling them to use this supposedly worst case scenario, the Federal Open Market Committee was clamoring that interest rates should be about 5.1% to fight inflation by the end of 2023. Well, that sounds like a case of the left hand not paying attention to or listening to the right hand. Obviously, that was a systemic breakdown. Now, I know that banks take deposits and they're allowed to loan out up to 10 times the deposits, and they take some of the money from deposits and invest them into bonds because they're safe. In normal situations, yes, bonds are safe. However, when you're counting on those bonds for part of your liquidity, so that if depositors start taking money out of the bank, most people just leave it in there forever. But when they start taking it out, which they do in economic downturns, you have to have liquidity. And if interest rates have gone up, the price of the bonds in your portfolio has gone down. Because when you go to sell them, who's going to pay the same money or the same rate to buy a bond paying 1% when you can buy a new bond that's paying 3% and hold it to maturity? Well, that's what happened in part, that's what happened with SVB. They got caught in that liquidity squeeze. They had their major depositors, a small group of venture capitalists, pull their money out, and they ran into the liquidity crisis. Now, this is a very truncated, a very basic explanation of what happened and how it was permitted to happen. But nonetheless, the facts stated here are pretty accurate. Fortunately, the FDIC stepped in, and the depositors are going to, with less than $250,000 in their accounts, are going to be made whole. Now, if you're one of those folks who is sitting there with more than $250,000 in your bank account, and you're concerned about remaining whole and FDIC insurance, well, we've got a few strategies that might be able to help you with that. That's what they're designed to do. If you're interested, give me a call. We'll talk and get together and see if one or more of them can work for you or might work for you. If you're interested, give me a call. My contact information will be on screen in a moment. Be sure to come back next week for our next exciting adventure in investing. Until then, make every day a great day. Bye now.